So the first way that I target customers, existing customers at launch, is either using email campaigns and or messenger campaigns on Facebook. So the purpose of this video is really to break down those two strategies and outline how exactly I use them. Historically, I've used ManyChat a lot with review inserts and some of those strategies, and I'll definitely get into how to send broadcasts via Facebook Messenger to customers using ManyChat. However, the rules around sending messages on Facebook, regulations, especially outside of the US marketplace, have made it very difficult to use ManyChat. So I will cover how to use ManyChat, especially in the review section for landing page funnels and things like that, as well as Typeform landing pages, which I'm going to get into here. But I've definitely moved and gravitated much more towards Typeform and email, I would say the last 6 to 8 months specifically. But we'll get into both strategies just so you're aware of how to leverage both of them. So the first way I've really been cultivating existing audience and emails for my Amazon brands is using a platform called Typeform, which enables you to basically set up these landing pages where you can use them in review funnels, you can use them in emails, you can use them in other assets to basically be able to give value to customers, whether it be a warranty, discounts, some other promotions or information. In exchange, you actually get their email address and you capture their email address, which you can then use at times like launches to promote products. So this is basically the page here. I think it's around $50 a month, depending on how many contacts you have, but it really lets you take these landing pages and get all these questions and get these information grabs, but do it in a pretty dynamic way, much more dynamic than just a standard contact page on a website would be. So I'm just going to log into my actual Adam Heist account so you guys can see what that looks like. And so these are all the various campaigns that I've kind of set up and landing pages I've set up. So in my case, I'll do a YouTube video and I'll have a worksheet that I was using in the video or an SOP or something, and I'll give you guys access coming through a link in my YouTube video to get access to it. So it's giving value to somebody in exchange for their email. That's a very similar approach to how we do this with our brands, right? You give the customer value typically in an insert that's in your product, give them a reason, a compelling reason to actually go to that URL. And then for that, you basically get access to their information, which you can then use when appropriate, when you've got something of value to share with them, like a product launch. So here you can just kind of see all the different landers that I've set up here for the Heist channel. This one's got 1,000 responses, this 239, this 1,000 plus, this 455. So you can see all the responses that have happened. So here's the size matters matrix. I'll just kind of show you one way to capture email here. The cool thing about Typeform is you can actually connect it to a Google Sheet. So if I go to this connect section here, you can see this integrations, and I can basically connect a Google Sheet if I want to actually spit all these contacts into a Google Sheet. And so here I've got a Typeform leads Google Sheet, which basically shows here the size matrix. Tab shows everything for this particular landing page, all the first name, last names, emails, when it was submitted, and a token that I then have access to all these emails that I can again target and add to my list. And each tab has its own landing page. So if you've got multiple products or multiple campaigns to draw customers in, you can basically have this Google Sheets, which cultivates all those emails for you for your brand. So it's pretty stinking sweet. Another automation that we've done really recently, because we use Klaviyo for most of our email campaigns, for our brands as well as for the Heist channel. So if I just go back here to another workspace in this most recent keyword dominator, we had 740 responses to this particular one. We did a text message and we did a landing page for international folks. We actually connected this using a tool to actually spit the emails directly into a flow. So let's just go through this keyword dominator one so you can kind of see. So heck yes, I do want it. What's your first name? Put in Adam. What's my email? Hello at Adam Heist, submit, and boom. And then this one basically just says check your email, and maybe the most important one you ever open. You could also just include a link here to whatever they came for. There's a bunch of ways to do it. But how we've done this to actually do this through an email exchange is we use a service called automate.io. And so you can see here, we basically take two technologies. We take the Typeform landing page, and then we take the Klaviyo email account. And this works with all kinds of different email services. So whichever you're using, you can actually make this work. But in our case, you basically create a bot, and we want to take Typeform, and then a new form has been entered, and then we want to attach that and send it to Klaviyo. And then we can actually send it to a particular kind of group in Klaviyo, just so we've got that together. So I'll show you how this looked for the keyword dominator. And again, you can just visualize how this would work for your own brand. So we basically just set up a flow. And basically the thought is, if anybody comes through the keyword dominator landing page, we want to email them out the link to keyword dominator. And the cool thing about that is because it's high value and customers want it, they open the email. And then they've got a really warm kind of email where you don't get stuck into the Gmail promotional tab because people are opening it. So basically what we did is we set up this keyword dominator link here. And so when customers came through that flow, we had a trigger. So when anybody subscribes to that Heist keyword dominator, which we set up through the automate.io, we want to send them this particular email. And you can kind of see here that we delivered 649 of them. The open rate was 88%, which is pretty insane for email, right? But the same thing is for your brand. If you're offering, say, 30% off discount code in your insert card, check your email after they go through that type form. They're going to open up their email and they're going to find the promo code, and then you've got their email. But basically what we did is we sent this email here, which basically just came from me, had the subject line keyword dominator access link. Hi Adam, I'll keep this simple. Thanks for watching the video and showing interest in our mind-bending approach to keywords. Get your free or pro upgrade here. And then they would click the link and then they would go to it. So you could have an insert card as an example that offered, say, a 30% discount or some other value. They go to that URL, it could be a QR code, and then they land on that type form page. They go through it. When they're done and give their information, you basically just tell them to check their email. And then you set up a campaign with an email very simple like this, that as soon as they enter that, finish that type form flow, you basically just would send this email out. Pretty awesome stuff, right? Another alternative, if you don't want to go through setting up all this Klaviyo stuff, I'll show you an example actually with one of these other ones. Let's go to the size matters matrix just so you can see that at work. So this is the size matters one, which is more static. So you basically just said, yeah, I want access to this tool or discount code or warranty or whatever it is for your brand. Again, type in your first name, my last name, and then just type in your exact email, and then just submit everything, and then boom, then I've got basically this link here that they can access. So you could also just send a generic code. There's a bunch of different ways to do this, obviously, for your brand. And then in this case, we basically would have captured their email into this Google Sheets connection that we would set up through Typeform. So let's say that you want to just take those contacts from that Google Sheets that you accumulate over time, and you're about to launch a product, so it's time to update your email list. You basically come to this list and segments here in Klaviyo, go to create list or segment, go to lists, go to maybe brand A launch list as an example. Go to create list, and then you can just upload the contacts here, and then you just drag and drop a CSV. So all we would basically do, let's just pretend that this was our landing page. We could just take the first 3 columns of this particular tab. We could go to File, New, Spreadsheet. We could just copy those in there. First name, last name, email. So we've got that. And then maybe we just name this brand A email list 10/8 on the date, and then just go here, download CSV. So now I've got a one-off list. I just drag that sucker into that file, and then it automatically is going to pull the first name, last name, email here, and it shows an example. We can go to the import review. We're good to go. Start import. And then let's go ahead and upload those 150 or whatever updated emails. So all we need to do, even if we're launching every 2-3 months, is just take those emails. Maybe we don't want to send emails all the time. We don't have time to set up all of our campaigns. We could literally send these guys emails just when we're launching a product if we'd like. So update that list, and then we can just go into a campaign like this in Klaviyo. We could create a campaign. It could be an email. And then maybe we have this as golf push cart launch. We could choose which list we want to send it to. So let's say that this was the launch list that we wanted to send it to. I usually deselect that, go to continue to content. Subject line, monster truck. Golf cart is here. And then launch special, something like that. And then you could basically just either do a text only, you could create your own email, or you could just use a drag and drop format. And then you can, there's a cool thing about Klaviyo, it's got a bunch of templates. A lot of these email services do. So you could just go find one that kind of suits your brand. Again, if we're just doing a launch special for 2 weeks as an example, you could put something there like a time log thing. Let's just see if we find one that looks good. It's something simple. Let's just select this one just to keep it simple. So you just go to this one up here, and then you could just replace the image with your logo. We don't need to do that. You could edit this section right here, like launch special. $100 off. And then you could get in here and do your blurb about this. We could even throw in that graphic that we made for some of our ads here. And then you basically set this campaign up, put it for the day that you launch, and you can even have the link in addition to just being your actual Amazon product link. So you could even go into Amazon as an example here, just so Amazon knows that you're actually sending external traffic through a email. You could come to your listing as an example, pretend this is ours, click on that email, and then it's going to give you a special URL that you could open up and add to an email campaign just so that they know that this traffic is coming. So as an example, you could have this, let's just pretend that this was a click here button. We could just put the text in there, hit save. And then anytime somebody clicked on that call to action here, it's going to divert them to your listing on Amazon, but it's going to give you credit as coming externally through that email link, which Amazon's going to like and give you credit for. So email is one way to do that. Again, Typeform has been a pretty fantastic tool, whether you want to just do a simple version and have it spit out to a Google Sheet and connect to Google Sheet to cultivate the emails, or you can even use automate.io, so it automatically connects into your email host and will send them either the discount code, warranty information, whatever other thing that your insert had. It can send that to them, so you build up an active kind of email list that way where it's automated. But it's a fantastic way. Even if you're sending 100 emails, a couple hundred emails at a time, it's a really valuable way to do it. And then also there's Shopify as well when it comes to emails. So this is a pretty new brand for us. And you can see literally with no e-commerce marketing whatsoever, we're just purely on Amazon. We've got 422 emails that we've cultivated just through orders that have naturally happened on our Shopify page. So we could take those, you could take the ones that you accumulate, and it really doesn't take long before you get to about around 1,000 emails, honestly. Within the first year or so, it's very conceivable that you get to easily 1,000 emails. And again, let's say that you send out 1,000 emails, 20% of them open it, and then they go to your listing. That's still 200 visits at launch, external visits at launch to your actual product page. And if you're paying the Amazon equivalent of a cost per click, that could be like a $400 campaign to get those visits. So it's incremental. It's not going to necessarily be a huge part of the launch strategy, but sending these emails is definitely super effective. If you've used a ManyChat for landing pages, and we'll get into that in the review section on how to set up ManyChat kind of landing pages, you'll also cultivate some contacts through that. So here's an example of just my Adam Heist thing, which I've done, again, similar to the email grab stuff. I've done it for my YouTube channel. If I go to contacts here, what do I have? I've got like 1,342 contacts within my messenger. So the crappy thing about ManyChat is you used to be able to just message folks and it could be promotional in nature. The only time you can now message people on your ManyChat list is if they've actually messaged you on Facebook within the last 24 hours. That's the only free way to do it. But what you can do is you can actually pay to send broadcasts out to your list, and you actually just pay Facebook much like an ad to target these customers that you cultivated through this list. So how you do that is you come to this broadcasting section here and you go to paid message, and then you can just go ahead and create new. You will need to have a Facebook ad account set up, so you're going to need to have that set up before you can run this, but you basically would just select the ad account that you want to use, go ahead and select it. And then this is super simple, right? Like we could be like launch special, new golf push cart with monster truck wheels. And then you just add a button, go to website, you could put the URL in there. This is another one where you could use like the fake Google link through the super URL on Sellerize if you want to make it look like it's coming from Google. You could use canonicals, or you could just use a direct link to your actual page. And then just you could put here buy now, hit done, and you'd probably want to obviously include like a photo of what it is and all this. I'm just going to keep it simple. You hit next, you select your audience that you have, you set your budget, the bids you want, when you want to start sending and end it, and then you just hit publish. I find that about like 30 to 40% of these will tend to hit. So let's say that you've got a ManyChat list of 1,000, you'll typically get about like 400 of them delivered, and it's pretty inexpensive. I think it costs, I don't know, it's like 10 cents an open or 5 cents an open or something like that. So it's a bummer that they changed the rules and you have to pay for it, but it still can be effective. But regardless of which approach, whether it's email and or ManyChat, harnessing those existing contacts, making sure that you're consistently cultivating them over time, it really can create a snowball effect so that you get 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 plus visits to your product from outside of Amazon when you launch. Amazon's going to like that because it's coming from outside of Amazon, so they'll reward you for that. And because these are typically people that have bought your products before, they're your customer archetype and audience, they know you as a brand now, there's a high likelihood that they actually purchase your product, especially if you have enticing discounts like 40% off or something for that first couple of weeks of launch. So it's not uncommon to get 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 sales out of your existing list in addition to those site visits using these strategies. So start off small if you're first launching. You're obviously not going to have a list, but continue to chip away at it. And honestly, within a year or two, it's pretty conceivable that you get a list size that is very impactful. And it doesn't need to be like 50,000 people like a lot of people think. You can do a lot of damage with a list of hundreds of emails or up to 1,000 emails. You can do a lot of damage on Amazon with injecting organic rank at launch. So that's how to use email and Messenger from existing customers at launch.